Ευλογητός ο Θεός ημών πάντοτε νυν και αεί και εις τους αιώνας των αιώνων.
It's October 11th, 2015. Welcome to the first Living Water broadcast. Today's broadcast is based in Corfu, Greece, where I drank for 40 days from Kardaki spring. You will hear some of the story and some snippets of conversation with a wonderful soul named Father Polycarpos, who oversees Monastery Casopitra. Unfortunately, because so much can be lost in translation, I offer only snippets of some lively dialogues I recorded with him. But I hope you find his voice woven with mine, life-giving and awakening, and bringing you closer to the embrace of our theme, the one true God. Father Polycarpos, would you share your insight on false gods versus the one true God?
Ο Απόστολος Παύλος όταν βρέθηκε στην Αθήνα
Apostle Paul, when he was in Athens,
και είδε τους 12 βωμούς που ήταν για τους 12 θεούς και έναν 13ο βωμό,
and he saw 12 places for the 12 gods from the ancient gods, and he saw also one more, a 13th place, which was
που ήταν για τον άγνωστο Θεό.
which was for the unknown God.
Γιατί όμως είχαν αυτό το βωμό?
So when we're wondering why they had this 13th place for the unknown God, Father Polycarpus think that all of us, inside us, we have this
Concept?
yes, and tell us very, very slowly that we have a need for the real God.
Yes.
Which was not enough for them. The 12 gods couldn't complete them.
Yes.
Που ήταν όμως σύμφωνα με τις δικές τους αδυναμίες, με τις αδυναμίες της ανθρώπινης.
But these 12 gods created from humans, they created gods so they can find an excuse when they are not strong to face their ego to make a god, for example, about the war.
Όλοι όμως έχοντας πολλές αδυναμίες.
So Father Polycarpus want to say that all the gods that was built has human weakness.
Kardaki, 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 Kardaki. Kardaki, 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 Kardaki. Divine guidance is when our soul speaks to us through dreams, through intuitions, through feelings of love or peace or joy when we contemplate a choice. Divine guidance is when God guides our steps, not our ego, not our society, but God. My time here at Kardaki Springs, my time here on Corfu, has been a time fully guided by divinity. It has been a time of taking steps, literally step after step, based only on faith. Divine guidance asked me to go to a place called Corfu and drink from a spring. In a vision, I was shown that the spring was high on like a wall above a tiny thumbnail beach, surrounded by shoreline with caves. I was given the directive that to go drink from the spring for 40 days. Imagine my wonder when I went to Google and looked up Corfu, and I found that the island had one spring called Kardaki. The story even became more fantastical for me when I, by hook and by crook, arrived in Corfu and with great enthusiasm went to the spring. I was so excited, I don't think I really know what to do except drink as quickly as possible. And when I did, oh my gosh, the light that I tasted was like a nectar. That water was more like liquid light, filled with sparkle, luminescence, information that filled my heart with an otherworldly energy that charged me. Yes, I drank from the spring day after day, and on the 13th day, I was told something dangerous could happen for me. I loved the spring so much that I confess in my early days I slept near it on a tiny beach, Daughter Beach. And on the 13th day, I departed as guided, and a huge flood came. Flash floods that the island hadn't seen a drop of rain in months, and Daughter Beach was washed away. Yes, I drank from the spring as if my life depended upon it. I might even say it did.
Η πίστη
The faith
δεν έχει λογική.
has no logic.
Είναι μέσα στην ψυχή μας.
It's only inside our soul.
Faith has no logic. Yes, that's my story. I am with you.
Σε άλλη γλώσσα. Πόσο όμορφο ήταν και πόσο κανονικό σε άλλες γλώσσες.
Yeah, he wants to ask you if, for example, at the service today, did you see it was 5 priests inside with different language,
Yeah.
most of them Russians and we are Greeks, and it was everything so calm and so nice together. Father Polycarpos couldn't understand Russian.
Ούτε αυτοί καταλάβαιναν τι έλεγαν.
And even the Russians couldn't understand what Father Polycarpos said.
Όμως,
But
ενεργεί χάρις, έτσι, κατά την ώρα της Θείας Λειτουργίας και μπορεί να μην καταλαβαίνουμε, νιώθουμε όμως.
But in the middle of the service, the energy is not exactly the energy, but I will translate like the gift from God give us the power to understand not the words, but by feeling that.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't speak a
I
word.
know.
You know how there's a dish in your family that is a family tradition? Maybe it's something like the family's secret recipe for lasagna that was learned from your mother, by her mother, by her mother. There's some secrets to why the recipe is good. Maybe the beef is tenderized in milk to add a little hint of sweetness. Maybe there's a secret spice that is unusual but works quite well. In this way, the Greek Orthodox faith has a consistency going back thousands of years, preserving the potence of the flavor of that which we feel so deeply that even I, who don't understand a word, am able to be touched and changed by participating in the ceremony. And what is ceremony? Why do we spend so much time in ceremony? In the Greek Orthodox tradition, there's even kind of a secret altar that you can't even see all that's going down with the priest and all the actions. His back is to you. And that seems perhaps antiquated or unfair. But what's really happening is that trying to keep that flavor as ripe and as strong as possible. The priest has his back turned because ceremony is our way of communicating with the unseen, with divinity. And he is staying in the exact tradition going back from the beginning, the exact recipe, by doing the same ceremony with an open heart. And what happens is that the space is filled with the love and the power of the one true God as he stays loyal to that recipe.
Η λέξη ορθοδοξία είναι σύνθετη.
The meaning in Greece, orthodox, coming from orthos and doxa. Orthos, it's like correct, and doxa means that we thank God. We bless God. Is that we can glory God on the correct way. The Holy Bible, which we have, the Christian Orthodox, is just been taken directly from the apostles just before 2000 years, and we didn't change anything in the middle of the years.
So Father Manyfish's explanation helped me understand the Greek Orthodox way, not as antiquated tradition of elitist men in a dusty kind of practice, but this sincere way to give right praise, to give thanks that is preserved like that recipe through tradition. Also, ceremony is kind of like a much more powerful way to talk with God. Because when we're down here alone in our room and we're all mentalizing and we're like, God, give me what I need and please hurry up, I'm really worried. It just sounds like static. It's just like kind of like tap, 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 buzz, buzz, buzz. But for ceremony done in this preserved way, this ancient recipe, it's the closest we can get to really communicating in a resonant and booming way that our hearts are there to commune with the one true God. The ceremony takes that mentalizing tapping that God may only hear as vague static and elevates it to something certainly more than smoke signals. It allows us to have our heart speak directly with that great heart.
Sometimes when you go to some monasteries, it's better close your eyes and try see what the eyes cannot see. I mean, try to open the eyes of your heart, because my lovely priest says that if you want to see the God, you have to wear the glasses of the clear heart and of the beautiful things in mind.
And so, let us together put on a pair of clear glasses as we resume the story of my 40 days at the spring. Even though I was so enthusiastic about the spring, I eventually came to my senses and realized that maybe it wasn't totally appropriate for me to be sleeping on the palace grounds every night, to be close to it. And so I found my way to a campground that I had researched before I came. When I'd contacted the campground, I felt such a warmth in my heart, and it felt good to continue to explore that as a base. There, I met a wonderful soul named Stathis. Stathis and his family have been running the campground since 1971. And I just felt so touched by his kindness that we became friends. And I discovered he had a great love for the one true God. Around this time, I also started to feel really pulled to go beyond the bounds of Mon Repos and explore. I was pulled to go up, up, up this hill, past some lime trees and peach Mediterranean homes, until I saw a teeny sign that indicated that tucked off the beaten path was a sweet monastery, white, with beautiful gardens and collections of sacred objects. It was where our Father Polycarpos is. I came home from the monastery filled with wonder, and I told my friend Stathis what happened, and he exclaimed, "Oh my, I was thinking of you for the monastery, but as a tourist for you to find it would have been impossible. That monastery is my home, and it is my spiritual father, Father Polycarpos," which means, by the way, Father Manyfish. I had a dream after I went and discovered this tiny, sweet little monastery and heard Stathis describe the warmth of his spiritual father. And in the dream, I met Father Polycarpos. Oh, he came toward me, greeting me with such presence, such welcoming, and he was wearing purple. The next day, Stathis took me to a private service at the monastery where I met Father Polycarpos. Stathis, is there anything you want to add about now?
The first day that we finally go to the service, to the monastery, we find Father Polycarpus, and he was wearing a purple clothes, and that was amazing because I've been to the monastery 1 year, and only once before about 1 year I've seen him with purple clothes. So that was clearly a message from our Big Father.
Mhm. Yes, these are all examples of following divine guidance and the wonder of what awaits us when we put on our glasses for the clear heart.
And so I was at my first Greek Orthodox service.
And I experienced so much holy, holy love. I was in awe, and my heart began to heal in ways that was beyond my imagination. Because around this time, I had a dream that a woman could not heal. And I began to wonder if I was that woman, for there were so many ways I was trying to heal, but I seemed stuck all the time. As a matter of fact, I wondered how I could ever be a guiding presence to others when I seemed unable to heal some parts of my very own soul. I began to feel as if it might be true that some things just can't heal. But after I had that dream and I came to the monastery of Cassiopetra, those very things began to heal. And I began to know it was okay to believe that I could be whole and that the soul really could be restored.
And would you believe that the story of Kardaki Springs continues? I came to the spring toward the end of my time to find it had been violently desecrated. Someone had worked hard since I was last there to try and stop the spring from flowing. Several blows had been administered to the spring wall, creating cracks and crevices and even a hole that changed the spring flow entirely. I was devastated, grateful the water still flowed, but so sad to see something so sacred treated with such violence and such ugliness. My friend Stathis was with me, helping me fill bottles, and he said, very distraught, "Whoever did this is evil." That night I had a dream in which the spring was restored, no longer any evidence of the cracks or damage. Would you believe the next time I came to the spring, it was so. No one had taken, caulking and filled the holes or anything, but it was fully back to flowing, as if it had never been anything less than its pure and innocent self. One way to further explore how we can wear the glasses of the clear heart is to visit this idea of innocence. In this present day and age, innocence is about as popular as the one true God. What is innocence? Innocence is our capacity to see that which is good in another, to believe in and to perceive that which is good and whole in another. Many in this present day consider themselves as people who are skeptical or cynical, the realists. And yet, if we want to be of service to humanity, it is essential that we look to one another, seeing each other through the eyes of innocence. Indeed, the one true God is the most innocent of all. As we listen to this upcoming story, I asked Father Manyfish about the living water, since this is a living water broadcast. Let us consider the way that innocence, or the divine's willingness to see us in our wholeness, in our goodness, in our beauty, to only engage from a place of great love for us, interacts with our faith, meaning that we believe completely that the unhealable can be healed. When those two coincide, we stand in the field where miracles become possible. Once upon a time, a man named Jesus was having a day. It was hot, he was thirsty, and he headed down to the local well in the area that he was traveling. And he saw a woman there who was, well, she was kind of lower class than he was at a time where that was sort of a big deal. So he said to this woman, would you be so kind as to draw me some water from this well? I'm thirsty. And she said, me? I mean, I'm, kind of less than you as far as this whole class thing, this caste system of the day. Now, how is it possible that you would ask me to draw water?
So Jesus tells her, if you would be possible to understand who really I am, you wouldn't ask me if it's possible. The woman asked, who are you? I am the water of life, who, if someone drink of me, of this water, will never feel thirsty. At this example, it's the first time who Jesus, speaking with this woman, present that he is the Son of the God.
First time.
And he present himself like the water, because with water is a big need of everything in the earth, of the animals, of the people, of the plants. Without water, death. With water, life. And this water is running, is not just a stable water. And the running water is the Word of God. The Word of God.
The Logos.
The Logos. Yes, that which is divine order, that which is the law greater than man's imagination, the Logos, the beloved Logos. Now, let us take a little time to go into a meditative or reflective journey. I'll take a few minutes as we close to guide us. And so let us begin.
Imagine yourself in a very still place. A place that could be in the middle of a bustling city center, but it holds the energy of refuge. Imagine yourself walking from the edges of this peaceful place where there is the last sounds of traffic and the path is wide with lamps leading perhaps to the old ruins of a palace. Imagine yourself committing to going deeper, to exploring beyond the familiar main road to an old palace or castle. Choose instead to follow your divine guidance off the beaten path, going deeper, going into where the overgrowth is thick, following the warm peace that is coming from the heart of something unseen. The one true God may not look remarkably obvious, but can be felt with the eyes of a clear heart. And it is this great desire to perceive, to feel, to experience the one true God that takes you further and further beyond the boundaries of the known, into the hushed place, into the still place, where you turn the next bend, curious and open, you go up the next hill, trusting, innocent, willing, and there you begin to hear the sound of a spring. The one true God is beyond name, is beyond form, but He loves us so much, He gives us name, He gives us form, He gives us story. And so as you begin to follow the sound of the spring, let yourself begin to perceive what your one true God will look like. As you see the splashing water of your spring, your holy spring, what do you see reflected in the water with the eyes of a clear heart? Let the presence of the one true God, the living water, reveal itself to you in this moment. And as you take in the sense of that which is holy, of that which is eternal, of that which is power beyond form or need or identity, what does the one true God share with you? Not as an idea, but as a heart message. What does the one true God need to offer you in this moment for that which cannot be healed to heal? And how? How can you allow yourself to receive this great love? What needs to relax, to let go, in order to let in this unconditional love, that of the one true God for you? The one true God who knows, indeed, every hair on your head, every breath, every imperfection, every wish, every flaw, every desire, every song, every dream, every heartbeat, known, cherished, recognized. We cannot hide anything, but we can accept all that is there, and in the acceptance, healing becomes possible. And so as you allow that which cannot be healed to be touched, even for a moment, even lightly, to be touched by the one true God. Perhaps in this moment it may seem like nothing has changed, but if you have had the courage, the humility, the willingness to be open, to have the heart be vulnerable, trust that you have been listening to this recording as part of your divine guidance. Trust that that which cannot be healed has been set into motion for healing. And know that the one true God loves us. That which is pure recognizes that which is pure. That which is snow is here to share with you. It is okay to be innocent again. And so we conclude this time with blessings and with great confidence that that which cannot be healed has been touched by the breath, by the presence of the one true God. And so it is. Innocence, 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 innocence.